Hello, hello.
Oh, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for
Hello,
joining us.
everybody.
Where is
So
everybody?
it feels like Monday. It feels heavy. Feels like
Hello, hi Sally. I was waiting for the comments to come in. There's always a delay. Hello, Maria. Hello, June. Hello, Lynn. Hello,
hello,
Maria. Hello,
hello.
Sally. So everything is fine here, but we have it's a really sunny day today. I was trimming the lemon tree. Like I had to do some work, and I didn't know that the leaves actually smell like lemons. Like they are very like the
Oh,
actual trees. I was like, "What's that scent?" I was like sniffing like a dog, and then I realized I had the leaves in my hand, and they smell like
well,
citrus, like
that's
lemons. I did not
interesting.
know that. So
So
hello, hi Katie. Hello, Lynn. Yes,
you planted a lemon tree last year, is that correct?
yes. We planted a tree last year in. We have two lemon trees in December, and now we actually have like it's
Baby lemon.
flowering
Oh,
the
the
baby.
flowers.
I mean it's flowers, but now they're like this big, you know. And I'm going every day like waiting like to
So this
discover
will
like
be your first year getting fresh lemons.
yes, but it's going to be several months, I think. Like it will be
Yes, we need to change.
oh, we did not, we what's going, oh, we are not matching today. Yes,
Yes,
lemon
I'm
curd,
sure
yes.
she's gonna bake it up. Well,
Yes,
thanks everybody for joining us. So let's
so
just
Marlon is in a hot seat, but let me just bring up the calendar, maybe.
yeah, that's what I was about to do.
Okay.
Yes. So put the calendar, I'll put it here. It is. So this is the calendar for May. Yes, we're already May. I can't even believe it. So the name on the Tuesday and the Friday is the person in the hot seat. And on Friday, the second person is the initial there on the right. So on the 6th, this Friday, Amber will be in the hot seat and Han will be assisting, answering your questions and reading them and stuff. And so that's basically the calendar. And so just like last month in my case, I have 4 days I'm in the hot seat. I'm looking at stencils for the month of May. So we're just going to talk about stencils, different things about stencils. And so
Yes.
that's what's for today and the rest of May. And did you want to add something?
I'm just gonna give it to you, but I'm just going to say happy birthday, Carol.
Happy
I
birthday,
just saw that.
Carol. Happy
Yes,
birthday.
so I will be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to today's live because there's so much to cover with stencils. Do you guys have any stencils? Have you made any stencils? Where do you like to purchase your stencils? Do you think they are expensive when you buy them?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah,
chances are.
chances are. Do you need like
Chances
for
are they
cookies? Do
are
you
expensive.
need what sizes do you get? Or for cakes, you need different stencils. I actually used cookie stencils on cakes. I will have in the next few weeks. I have four small cakes that I actually used cookie stencils that you can use, but they are not.
Yes.
I mean, you can use it on cakes, but I think if you are a cake decorator, I think it's better to invest in proper
It's a
cake
little
stencils.
restrictive, right? It's
Yeah,
smaller.
because of the size, but you can do it.
So
So
here is the link to my coffee shop. I did add a supply list. Some of you might be asking about some of the stuff I'm going to show. So the supply list is there. That's free if you want to download that. It's a PDF clickable sheet, and you can look at the products that I'm going to talk about today. June has started also. She's making stencils for herself, and it really makes orders much easier. You can do logos, you can do custom stuff for your clients, you can charge for the stencil making. Here, Victoria, she uses her Cricut.
I'm so tempted. Like I'm thinking maybe next year I will jump into the stencil. Like I'm not necessarily into the plastic stencils that I need so many of them, but I think like even just cutting out the cardstock like guide
Yes.
for the decorating, if it's, you know what I mean, like if it's just a guide for the lines and all that, so it does make things easier.
Nancy's using her Cricut. You can use here, Gardine is saying, Garden Girl. You can use your airbrush, but you can spackle with icing. You can use icing, or you can use a sponge. You can use different things
Yes,
to
exactly.
use the stencil. See, everybody's
Like
silhouette.
think about stencil, not just because it's on cookies. The stencils are used for so many different art forms. Even on fabric, you can use stencil. You can use stencil on the wall. So imagine how they do that. You know, you can use
Yeah.
different mediums. Well, different mediums. Like you could use a paint, edible paint, and a sponge, and just use that. Different things.
Okay, so we'll start. I want to just mention, okay, like anything, any craft that you do, there are, price ranges of things. So I'm going to try to look at budget options as well as, getting an electronic machine. We're going to look at like just stencils broadly. So today I want to talk about supplies. In the next one, we'll look at making stencils. Today we're going to be talking about the plastics, the cardboard, blah, 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 all these types of things. Okay, so I've loaded some pictures and we're just going to start. Now, first thing, a Silhouette machine. Silhouette is the brand, and Cricut. These two companies make a machine that is essentially, for just description purposes, like a printer. So instead of a print head where the ink comes out, there's a blade. And the blade, you're sending the information with your computer, and the blade cuts material for you. Now, this is the Silhouette. There are two versions. There's the Silhouette Cameo and the Silhouette Portrait. The Portrait is on the left, and that is their more affordable option that they've come out with. Cricut did the same thing. They have I don't know the baby version that they have. Their baby version is narrower. So the Portrait cuts 8 inches. Their little one cuts 5 inches, which is not bad for cookies. But if you want to perhaps use it for other crafts, 5 inches is a little small.
So
Although
what's the cost? How like
it's about $200. It's more expensive than the Silhouette baby version. If you look, depending on your area, you can maybe see it online with Costco. If you have a Costco card, and then returns are a little bit more easy. If you if you want, you need to return. Claudia, I'm seeing your comment. I don't really have a recommendation as far as a printer. Are you talking about a food printer? I don't use currently a food printer. I don't make enough cookies to justify that. And the ink dries out, the cartridges dry out, so I don't have that. Okay.
This is a good question. You can answer. I mean, I've been using Cardstock I have some that are years old, but
yes,
if you plan on using it for 100 I don't know.
Well, what happens is if you are planning on making 100 cookies, then you just have to cut more so that they don't get too wet.
Yes, that's
it's just
true.
about that. It's like if you're doing just a few cookies, cardstock is great, and you don't want to soak it, like it's paper.
Exactly.
So if you get paper wet, but if you missed it and it's not a heavy amount, then it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we've talked about the machine. Now this is kind of like the most expensive option, but the most efficient option. Now, like efficient in that it cuts very quickly, very precisely. You're making very professional looking things. So, but I understand that not everybody can afford that. So what's your next option? Your next option is cutting with a board of some sort. Like this is a healing board. And so you use that to protect your surface. And you could obviously just use a card, like the back of a sketching pad or something. It's thick cardboard. You could use that. And then you get X-Acto blades for $1 or $2. Another option is just purchasing a Cricut mat or a Silhouette mat. Their mats, their healing boards essentially, are sticky. So sometimes when you're trying to cut, the thing moves around. So that sticky board can help to hold when you're cutting. And there's hands.
This is my handmade. I use X-Acto knife, but
Perfect.
It's for the guides. It's not actually. I don't use it for airbrushing. Marlon would, if you wanted to use this for airbrushing, I have done that. I would add a lip here and lip here, or so I could secure it with magnets or something.
Yes. So here, let's look again. So cardstock, it holds up just fine as long as you don't over wet it. Well, thank you for joining us, Linda.
Hey,
Curly
Jeremy.
Joy, thank
Hello,
you.
Julie.
Hi, Joseph. Oh, he wants the live stream.
Live stream. Okay,
Here it is.
let me get it. Let me get it. So okay, you're faster. All right, so let me
Here,
take
let me
this
hide
out.
this comment. Okay, yeah. So
So
there's
this
the
is a
schedule.
live
You
stream
can screenshot it.
for the month of May. So the full names are the names of the am I understanding it correctly? Of the names of the presenters
That's right.
or somebody who is in the hot seat. And
Yes.
then the initial on the Fridays, you see on the 6th, Amber is doing a demo, and I'm going to be there to read your comments. It's just
That's it.
help her out. So
you can screenshot it. Now we're going to take it
take
all.
a picture of it with your phone really quickly. I'm going to take it out in 3 seconds.
Okay. All right. So let me move down again now. For the food printers, Maria, yes, I've seen the Eddie. Amber made a video for it. Lovely machine. I do not have that because
it's like
did a
$5,000.
sponsored post
No,
with them, but it's a pricey unit.
It's expensive, right?
But it's worth it if you do a lot of orders. Well, hello, Jeremy. Hi, Julie.
Hello, Mary Jean.
Oh, the sweet seat. Yes, absolutely, Sally. Okay, so moving right along. So like I was mentioning, so that on the right could be very handy. You can purchase that at Michael's, just the mat, so that if you do cut, if you find that your cardboard or your plastic, you have trouble holding it in place, it's adhesive, and so it holds it there. Okay, so now today, let me run through my other things that, oh yes, this is another topic, the plastic and the cardstock. So the cardstock, I actually purchased, it's available in store in Canada anyway, the cardstock, 110-pound cardstock. This stuff, I really like it because you can use it for stencils. It's a really nice thickness. And the other thing is it makes great tags. If you like to make tags for your cookies, you can use a punch to cut tags. You can make the hang tags. You can do all kinds of tags. It's a really nice, and you put it through the printer, no problem. You can print your design to then cut it with your X-Acto, and it goes through the printer very easily. The other thing, I buy 4 mil clear plastic when I'm making the stencils. One of the biggest issues that I've seen people on the chats and in the groups talking about cutting stencils is the thickness of the plastic, and they have to pass over the plastic, 10 times before it cuts through. 4 mil, usually it's pretty done and done. It's factory setting and it cuts right through it. I don't sell my stencils. I don't need a crazy quality. Of course, the stencils that you buy from the people who sell them, they have to have a thicker plastic. They're selling them sometimes for $15. You want something that's going to last. But in my case, I don't care if it's not a super great quality. I rather have a lesser quality and not have to have my machine cut it 1,000 times. The machine is $4,000. Yes, it's expensive. But if you calculate,
if you have a lot of orders,
4,000 cookies, let's say, which is not a lot in a year, 4,000 cookies, and you just increase your price by $1, I'm just putting a scenario out, well, you've covered your costs, right? Laminate the plastic. Yes, absolutely. You can get, like at the dollar store, you can get sheets of plastic like to coat books, and you can coat the cardstock if you want, or you can just get the clear plastic to cut your stencil.
I will often use cardstock, and I will use a clear tape over it, and then I'll cut.
The packing tape, yes.
It's like last minute.
It's not ideal to work in icing with that.
Not with icing. No.
But it's fine for and a marker too. You can work with your marker to get your guidelines.
You can work with a marker, not with the icing. No, it's not.
Another interesting product I'm going to show you. So my daughter, I bought her this. My daughter was in arts and different things, And so this here is available. It's in the supply list. It's available on AliExpress. This contraption is very affordable. It is a surface that's illuminated. So if you want to trace templates or things like that, it can be handy if you want to trace your designs, or, you know, I'm just putting it out there to let you know it exists. I think it's like the small one. It comes in 3 sizes, maybe $5-6, like really an affordable thing. Okay, so now we've looked at that. So next thing, we're just going to look at fonts. If you're making your own stencils, like here's the letters. I just used the word letter to show you. So at the top, that's a font that's for stencils. And so you can download that at this site here, 1001fonts.com for free, and use it, and boom, you have a stencil. You don't have to worry about the bridges. They're already there for you, okay? The one underneath is a more decorative font, and if you were to use something like that, well, you'd have to come in and add the bridges yourself. And you can see the yellow, that's the areas that would fall out if you don't add the bridges. So if you don't have bridges, there's nothing that's going to hold that hole in the L, that hole in the E, that gap between the 2 T's. So you need bridges to hold all that together. And the same thing applies if you're making a stencil of Mickey Mouse, of a thing. You need the bridges. Han, if you show again your little stencils that you have there, she has her little bridges. Did you lose them? You have your little bridges.
Senior moment, I'm like, it's front of me, and like I can't find it.
So she has these little bridges, which is supports essentially. It's what's holding all these gaps. She's making holes, so you need to have something to hold the holes that she's made in her cardstock. So
I've used the extensive amount of stencils made like these guides. Basically, not necessarily. These are not stencils that. These are more guides. This was used for the lily, and this is my bunny. This is not completely necessary, but I used it anyway. So,
see, Amy, you're buying. See, Amy, I don't know how many images you're buying, but you can buy a printer. Just basically, it's a printer. If you look, it's called Tasty Photo, FOTO Art, and they sell all the supplies. It's much cheaper than that Eddie machine. It's basically like the first technology, and so you're printing on frosting sheets. And so you can do that very affordably. When you buy the pre-printed sheets, like from somebody, it's fine if you're a home baker doing it once in a while, but it does add up. You'll cover the cost of buying a printer yourself really quickly. Hi, Camille. Hello, Judy.
Hello, Judy. My pleasure.
No problem, Joseph. Okay, so now next thing, let's moving right along. So there was a brief at the beginning question about silk screen. I did add one of the sellers on AliExpress that sells the silk screen. They have a few cookie designs.
Can you use the silk screen with your cutter, with your machine?
What do you mean, with a silhouette?
When you buy the silk screen, it's a material, right? So can you?
Well, it's that. Maybe I'll do a silk screen tutorial in one of the other 3 days.
I'm moving away from it then. Okay.
But it's a different process. It's a different process. So the thing about a silk screen, for those of you that don't know the difference, here I've got one physically. I'm going to turn on my camera here, and so the thing that is different from a silk screen to a regular, like the other stencils, where is it here? Perfect. So I'm just going to zoom in. My exposure is a bit dark. Let me so if you look here, this is lace, okay? It's a lace design. And if I can I zoom in more? You can see there's none of those bridges we discussed. The pieces are just floating in the air, and that's possible because those pieces are actually attached to mesh, a fine mesh. So those holes, a little bit like a screen in your window, the air brush can go through to the surface of the cookie, but it holds those little areas in place. So silk screens are kind of the fancier stencils, but as you can see, the material is not transparent. And so it can be a little tricky to align on your cookie. Like here, if you look at this one, it's a dark purple. So you have to, there's a few tricks, which again, I might address in the next one, of how you can align that blindly. One of them is that sweetest tier, that other kind of more expensive stencil holder, because that the point of that stencil holder is that you can work blind, right? So you align the cookie, you have a template exactly where to position the cookie, and then you can close and open and work quickly. So, but that's the thing with the silkscreen stencils, is the material is not transparent and difficult to align. Okay, so Angie, you're making them with the iron-on vinyl. Julie, yeah, it is a very nice stencil. But again, the thing is that it's very quickly overloaded, like dirty from working with it, and then you have to wash it. They're a little bit tougher to dry because there is like a bit of, it's like a material. So, and water it's not usually a friend of airbrush, so it can be a little bit, So that's the thing with that. So next here, what's Trisha? Different types of stencils, that's it. There's many different ways to make stencils. She's asking Victoria if she makes custom stencils, I guess. All right, so now we've looked at the cutting mats. If you're, looking for an affordable option, bridges. This site here is where you can download free fonts. If you don't want to navigate, doing the bridges, you can kind of get stencil fonts for free. Here is this is my preferred airbrush, and then the silk screens, you'll find that on the free coffee download. The material to cut your stencils, either cardstock or clear plastic. The silhouette machine and the portrait machine, great tools to, if you're, yes, to make stencils, but also to make your tags, to make vinyl for your, let's say you do pop-up shops, you want to make signs for your business. I mean, a silhouette machine is more than for cookies. You can do so many different crafts. If you do charcuterie boards, you can make vinyl t-shirts, you could do so many things. Okay, so those are all that. Then I wanted to show you a few finds that I got. So the other thing that's gotten to be quite the rage in the last few years are layered stencils. Now, the layered stencils are quite expensive.
Very expensive.
They are very expensive. And so what is a layered stencil? A layered stencil allows you to airbrush color by color by color, which means you are able to achieve designs that are multiple colors, right? And so these here, if you look at this, these are AliExpress. So as I was on AliExpress looking at things, well, lo and behold,
stencils. This stencil is from AliExpress.
It is from AliExpress, and they have a ton of them. They are not in the cake section. They are in the card making section. So here you can see this particular design. We have 2 layers for the green and then multiple layers for the flowers. And they're like $5, $7 for some of them. But this one here has 5 layers. So, and you can see they're not big. So it's like good cookie size if you want to add a little thing on the side of a plaque or something like that. Here is another version. This one is a little bit more Christmas-ish.
Oh, look at this. Oh, you think so? I mean.
Well, I thought it looked like, yes, I did it pink hand, but it's like poinsettias.
Oh, yes, I see. How big are they? Is it?
Well, see my hand here. This one is maybe 1.5 inches. This particular one right here.
Yes, so it's a good.
This one here is a perfect cookie size. This little cluster, you could put that on an ornament. Again,
you know what I see? When you buy wrapping paper.
Yeah.
You have this design on it, and then there is a layer of glitter sometimes in sections. I see that on that. Like I can see
you could absolutely do that.
And then you add some detail on that.
6 layers. This one is 6 layers.
So they come in. It's more of it's a strip. It's not a.
Yes, it's not. But I mean, you're getting It's a cheaper
Very nice.
version. So what usually when you're,
But
going,
it looks pretty thick though, the material.
it is a very nice plastic. So this is a Christmas ornament version. It has a little Merry Christmas, has a branch at the top. And so this one here is 2 layers. So this is for the glitter on the ornaments. This version. I didn't do a practice spray of that one.
Beautiful. So so Sydney is asking, what is AliExpress?
AliExpress is basically, so, I don't know what percentages of the stuff that we buy at the dollar store, at our local stores, are from China. And so a lot of the stores that are, in North America will purchase their products from China, wholesale, and then resell it to you at a markup. You're essentially dealing directly with China. You're eliminating the middleman. And so you're saving money. The stuff via AliExpress is usually more affordable than the stuff that you would buy at a specialty store, not because it's any different, just because you're, the markup is, as soon as you start adding people to the transaction, well, everybody wants their piece of the pie. And so it increases your costs. So that's essentially,
this is just how quickly do they ship?
Every vendor, so it's a little bit like eBay or even Amazon. Amazon's all different sellers. But the thing though, that with Amazon, it's like if you're going with the Prime, it's next day. But some sellers I've seen have much bigger delays depending on what you're wanting to pay. And so I've had stuff come in, within 3 weeks, and other stuff it's taken 2 months. So it depends on, and you can increase what you want to pay in shipping. If you want it a little faster, you can change your shipping options, because a lot of them do offer free shipping, but that's the longest delay, right? So sometimes if you pay just a couple of dollars, you'll get it much quicker. These came quite fast. I couldn't tell you an exact time. They were ranging, oh, Sydney, you're in China? Well, then you could get very fast shipping. Susan, they were ranging, I want to say, from $5 to $7. A Canadian. I'm in Canada, so that's Canadian.
Do you have here? I have option to actually choose the country. Sometimes it will give me option like, it can be China. They can even ship from Spain, directly from Spain.
Yes, there's a lot of
here
from Spain.
So then it arrives like in 3 days when it's.
There is also a lot of shippers from the United States. So if you are in the United States, you can select the United States. So here's another version here. This one is 4 layers, so 2 layers of green and 2 layers of blue. This design would actually be super nice in navy blue. This particular, so most of these come with a stamp. So you would airbrush, and then you can put do the stamped layer on top in black, for example. Here's another design. This one is much
beautiful.
But again, the layers, you get all the colors and everything. And I suggest you practice on paper first to see your color palette, but that's that one.
When you're doing the layering, you have to align everything properly, right? You have
but alignment. If you practice on the paper, you get the gist of the design. And as soon as you do your first color, you're able to align based on that color the other ones. So this is the last one that I bought. And this one here is primarily leaves, but I do like it because, let's say this wreath, you could come in and airbrush just the green, and then come in and add little royal icing flowers and really embellish it. So it becomes like a bit of a background.
And you can use it for different, what's nice about it, it's not specific to any holiday. So it's like evergreen. You could use it all year round, right? You add little eggs, you turn it into an Easter wreath. You use.
So this is 4 layers, this particular one. And this one, if you were to do it just in like the green, let's say, well, you could actually mist it with alcohol after. So you don't want to touch it. You want to airbrush it. And then it becomes kind of watercolorish. It blends the 2 tones a little bit more. And it almost looked like you water painted, like that you painted it instead of airbrushed it.
Oh, yeah, Charlotte, I also do that too. I will trace the color on a paper and then, yes, exactly.
Yes, that's a perfect thing. So you know what you're doing.
Do that.
Exactly. Okay, so there.
Yeah.
Very good. So here is my cardstock that I printed, and this is just to demonstrate a couple of things for you guys if you've never cut stencils, okay? So ideally, the thing that makes the difference is a sharp blade. If you find that you're cutting and you're like, oh, it was working well yesterday, and why is it not working today? Your blade is dull, okay? Change your blade. You can purchase X-Acto blades and the actual like thing. Here in Canada, they come healing board and blade for like $2.
I have here, like they come, you can get them. I mean, the thing is they are very sharp. So this is a good brand.
Yeah, it is very good. You can get that at Michael's. Use your discount coupon.
So this is a 5-pack. I'm not sure what the number 11 means. It says number like 11. I don't know if it's the
maybe it's a size
or something, but these are pretty standard. So it's 5-pack. It wasn't, I don't think it was expensive. And then, yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
Susan, Sydney, I didn't say there was anything wrong with China. I was saying that the products come from China. That's all I was saying. So yeah, the price range, $5 to $7, $8. You can check it out depending on how many layers they have. The price varies. And yeah, okay. So now here. So this is a pen blade. This is the Han. You actually sent this to me. So these are knives that have a retractable blade, and they're often used actually to cut cookie dough. So this is a great one to cut. And they come. There's different shaped blades. Yes. The smaller one is a bit easier to cut stencils. This one here is a bit fat for stencils.
I do have, this is a 10, number 10.
Okay, it's a smaller blade, yeah. Here, let me switch you. Show it again. Whoops. There you go.
This is a 10, yeah. And they have different, I think they have like 4 different ones. So depending on
I have the blue one there.
But would you, I mean, I don't think I would necessarily recommend this to cut the paper.
I've used it. I mean, I have it, in a pinch. So I did buy this. I saw it on AliExpress, and it was like, oh, it's a piece of crap. Don't buy this.
Oh, so, I was like, what is that? Like,
so it's supposedly, so easy to control, and you watch the video, and the blade is basically you're a silhouette machine out of your hand. It's not. It's like really like I consider myself to be pretty
experienced in all
and I've got like good motor skills, I find like that, I can execute things. This thing does not work. So you're pressing down and you're trying to guide the blade. Like really, like let's see if I had to follow. No. It will never. It's just it's really not. It doesn't flow. I was about to throw it in the garbage.
You are not
hate it. Yes. I was going to throw it in the garbage, but I said, "Oh, I'm going to show them." So do not buy this.
Okay? What is it called? What is that?
I don't know, but you'll see it. Look at it. Okay, it's easy to spot. You see how it's got a hook in it? Don't buy this. It's just garbage. The blade is impossible to change. It's overall just not good. The other thing that I bought, actually, I didn't even try this one yet. This is really a small blade.
Wow.
And this is also from AliExpress. And this is in the school supplies. I actually bought, like I mentioned before, my daughter's in arts and stuff. So I got her a little blade for her, different school projects. Sometimes she's working on things. And so I got this one for myself. And this is a really small blade. This one I didn't get a backup blade because you want to get a backup blade so that if you need to change it, I'm going to try.
So you can change it. It's like, I guess it screws.
You have to unscrew it here. So you'd unscrew it here. And then it's all filled with little sprinkles. So they fall out. I opened it and I had a bunch on my. So anyway, so here, when you're working, you want to start at the corner. See there's a little corner here. So you start at the corner and then you pull towards you. And you want to make sure that your other hand, your second hand, is in front, not behind. Because if you lose control of your blade and it jerks, well, it's going to go onto your hand, right? Your hand is here, so you always want to keep your hand in front of where you're pulling. And so now I've just cut that little area, and then I can go and do the curve. Because the blade is so small, Well, it makes corners a little bit easier to cut. I got to tell you right now, I don't have my glasses on and it's a bit dark. So I am struggling from the vision part of it.
Yes, no, I understand. I have to be literally like inch from the surface
Yes.
to
So
cut.
I'm working with it and I'm not loving it. I've worked with just a simple, inexpensive X-Acto and I've had more success. I'm
Mhm.
seeing how this is cutting and I'm not loving it. And it didn't even go through the
Oh,
cardstock.
from the cardstock. Kathy says the, I love it. The don't buy blade is called a gyro cut.
Oh, that's right. Don't buy it. So it didn't even go through the cardstock. And you don't, the thing about this cardstock is it's such a nice thickness. Like if you go thinner than this, I find that this thickness is really great to hold straight and to like, you need a certain thickness so that it doesn't fly and flop and all this. So I really like this particular 110 pounds. So for those of you that aren't aware, the thickness of paper and cardstock is with the pounds. So the thicker the cardstock, the heavier the weight, like you'll see on the packaging.
You have once told me, and I have actually took that to heart. Although I don't know. Okay, what is the thing called that you use to protect your finger when you're doing
Oh yes,
like a
the
sewing or
Band-Aid.
uh, embroidery or whatever? What is it called?
A thimble.
Yes, but not the metal one. You have to get. I think they have also silicone ones.
Yes.
I don't have it, so I just use like a small piece of silicone that I cut from one of the mats or whatever. Oh yeah, okay. And I used it because sometimes you have to like really put pressure on the blade itself. So and then if you don't have anything, it actually like it hurts. It hurts.
Yes, when
So,
you're cutting,
so
yes,
then like if you're
absolutely.
cutting for a long time, I mean that's Thank you, June. That's so sweet. Thank you, June. Oh,
Yes. So yes, that's it. Like when you guys donate to us on coffee and different things, like we are just of course some of the money goes to paying our bills, but it's like also to create content for you guys. We want to create useful information and tutorials and help you guys not waste your money on stuff and experiment with it and then show you
like
to the best of our
gyro
abilities how to
cut,
use it.
gyro cut knife, gyro cut.
So the
Interesting.
other thing that I saw, and that's what Hannah's mentioning, is a girl on Instagram, Charlie, gosh, now I can't remember her user, but she coats her X-Acto blade with a Band-Aid where her
Oh,
finger
okay,
is going
Band-Aid,
to
okay.
go. So she wrapped it, and it's a fabric Band-Aid. They're stickier and they have like, it's thicker, right? So
Like
she
I
wraps,
right, like
yes,
sometimes I actually hold it because I want to because
exactly,
if you're cutting through
plastic.
plastic and so I have to put pressure on the blade
Yes,
itself. And if you're doing
exactly.
this for 10 minutes, then like you're not gonna cut yourself, but it's not
It's painful.
pleasant. It's
So she
painful.
wraps, she puts a Band-Aid around the blade. And so then you get, that part that's made to absorb your bodily fluids. Well, that part is like a pillow for your fingers. So that's a great little
So
tip
she
to
basically
protect your
cushions
finger.
the blade kind of
Yes. And then,
thing.
if you don't have the Band-Aid on the blade, you might eventually need a Band-Aid on your finger. So anyway, and so you can do that. And the other thing also when you're cutting with plastic, I find that it's slippery. So that's when that sheet that I told you before, the holder, where let me show it to you again, this one here that's adhesive, well, it could come in handy because the plastic is very slippery. It moves on your work surface. So that holds it in place. And that in
You know,
Canada is maybe $20, and you can get the smaller one for the smaller machine. So I don't know how much it would be, the smaller one, but it's something that you will have for a long, long time. Like they're sticky for a long
often
time.
when I do this by hand, I mean, you are using what you're using for the show now. It's quite big, but when I'm working with a small item and it's like it is a stencil, not a guide, so I will actually tape it. I will tape it onto the
Okay.
work surface. I
So
usually tape.
another thing that I want to say, when you're making stencils, turn the cardstock or the plastic or whatever you're working, just like when you're working with your cookies, the angle in which you're pulling the blade matters when you're cutting. Don't try to get all these rounds and stuff and leave this immobile. By rotating it, it makes your cuts much nicer and you're much more able to work. Now here I'm looking at my A and it's not a good bridge because once it's cut, there's only one little bridge here holding that bottom line on my A. So it's going to be a pain in the caboose.
I see
You
that.
know?
Laura?
So, but it was just to show you guys.
I actually have in the beginning of my decorating journey when like I had no idea what Mylar is or where do I get stencil blanks, nothing of that sort. So I would use plastic report covers. Yes, but they are very thick. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if nowadays they are as thick as they were.
They are very thick. Another option though, that's a little bit less is the dividers. Plastic dividers. Yeah. They're slightly thinner plastic. But I'll tell you, the Mylar on Amazon that I showed.
Yes. I actually hand cut Mylar as well. I've hand cut Mylar on several occasions, and it's
not that expensive. It's really not. So the thing about that is it's clear. So the other stuff is not clear. So you don't know how to align on your surface.
That's another thing, right?
Yeah.
It's better to get clear. I don't have clear.
So sometimes you think, oh, it's more expensive. I mean, the difference is, you know, because you're getting so many. This is 12 inches by 12 inches. That means each sheet is 4 stencils. So you're going to have plastic for a long time. So anyway, sometimes you think you're saving, and in the long run, the amount of time it takes you to cut because it's so hard and you're working so long trying to cut it. And just something to look in your neighborhood, like here, me at my local library, we have a cutting machine available to citizens in my community. So you could maybe contact your local, if you volunteer at a school, like my daughter in high school, they had a silhouette machine. So sometimes you can get around it, or maybe you have a friend who's a crafter and, you know, if you chip into the materials, maybe they'll cut stuff for you. You know, that's an option.
Is the blade expensive if it goes dull in your machine?
The blade is $20, but again, AliExpress sells a knockoff blade that you can purchase for a fraction of the cost. And the AliExpress blade, what's really fun about the AliExpress blade is that you can actually go into the holder and just change the little blade. That's the thing with the silhouette and the other model. It's like a big thing of plastic goes in the garbage. Whereas the AliExpress one is like a metal housing, and then you unscrew it, and it's just a little needle that you replace inside. So I do like that. I mean, I know it's for a lot of us a retraining for like thinking from an environmental standpoint. I mean, I'm 50, I feel it, but we have to rethink what we're putting in the trash. If there's something that we can kind of get that's not as damaging, you know, like lately I've been washing my piping bags. I mean, every little bit helps. It's not about overhauling necessarily your life, but you know, you can every bit helps. So that's all. I'm not fanatical, but just to be mindful of what we're doing. That's all. Okay, so any more questions? I'm looking here. So we've talked about, like I said, the machine. So obviously those machines are expensive, but in my opinion, worth it. Yes, it does. I don't know about the Silhouette Cameo 4 because the thing is, as soon as people start finding inexpensive options, the companies start finding ways to tether you to their products, just like you know, printers started adding like little chips to the print heads, you know, and so it's a little like that. Now the new Silhouette Cameo 4 blade has some sort of a chip on it, whereas the other one had no thing. So you could maybe get a refurbished, because they were selling refurbished Cameo 3s on their site, and then you can just get the knockoff, no problem. But that's the issue. It's like they're always trying to, obviously they want that sale, but you know, how do you know which is compatible? Maria, if you send me a message, send me a direct message, maybe on Instagram, and I'll answer you with the link of the product that I bought. So, of course, when you buy a knockoff, things like that, there's always more tweaking. Like it doesn't automatically adjust the height. You have to go in and turn it and stuff. There is some tweaking, but the blades are very expensive. And so if you want to try it, it was, you get the holder and a bunch of little blades that you replace.
Have you replaced your? I mean, I assume you have replaced yours, but like how many?
How many times? I have to tell you,
Like,
since
I
I
mean, you
started
can't
using
probably
the thinner
tell,
plastic,
but would you say that if you were using it with the cardstock, it would go down quicker, or would it be the plastic that makes it go down fast?
absolutely, the thicker plastic goes through the blade much faster. Like since I started using the thinner 4 mil plastic as opposed to the recommended 6-7 mil, my blade lasts double the time because it's so much, like it goes through it like nothing. So that's, for sure it makes a difference.
Other than funds, where can we get the images we can use to cut the stencils? Now this is tricky because you have to write copyright.
So on Etsy, there are artists that sell art that you can buy digital downloads and then you can cut them. I design on my I sell some of my designs on Etsy. I sell them also in coffee, and you get them usually for free with your tutorials if you sign up to my Patreon. And so you buy them or you can design them yourself. Last month, for the month of April, that was the tutorial, was drawing with Procreate to design your own stencils. So you think it's complicated, but if you have a silhouette machine, it's not that hard to cut and design your own. Obviously you need basic like drawing ability, but if you're decorating cookies, you must have some degree of artistic ability. So I'm sure you could get by. So if you want to check that out.
If let's say if they want, well, this is like if they want a specific thing on a certain cutter, never mind. But stencils, like we are talking about general 6x6. Usually they're 6x6 inches, right?
Here's a question, those of you that are still watching, how about you put in the comments, what is it that you'd like to see in the next Stencil Live? Because I'll tell you my problem, I don't know, as an adult now, I'm wondering if I might have attention deficit disorder because my brain always goes to 500 directions. But what is it that you'd like to see? Do I talk about designing with Procreate? Do I talk about cutting with Silhouette? Do I talk about decorating with stencils? Yes, Nancy, they do have a ton. Silhouette also has a design space where you can design, download stuff. But just be mindful, you cannot cut those stencils, or can you sell the cut stencils? I think you have to pay more. So read the kind of, they all have like stipulations.
Reselling the design, you mean?
Well, yeah, because like the artist gets the transaction when you buy the art, but then there's limitations of what you can do with that digital.
So you have to look at the
rules,
creative license, like what is it that's kind of, what license does it come with? Sometimes they will say you can use it for professional purposes and resell. But not, I guess, well, you just have to find out on your, commercial licenses, yes. Oh, okay.
June is saying that it's not expensive. I think each artist has like a different price range. You can sometimes get sales. If you buy on Silhouette, I don't know about Cameo, Cricut, I mean, but on Silhouette, you can buy like basically like credit, and it's much cheaper than buying directly. So you get like $20, or I actually bought like $100 worth of credit. Sometimes they have this credit on sale, and then you can just have that like in the bank and buy, and then the stuff goes on sale. So you're buying your credit on sale, and then the art goes on sale. So you're paying really, it's affordable to buy their art.
So it is, Maria also says it's an option for commercial licensing. Karen, how do I get past feeling so overwhelmed when thinking about purchasing a machine and cutting my own stencils?
Well, I guess you are overwhelmed. Is it the cost?
I guess she's worried. Karen is probably worried about like how do you kind of figure out everything.
The navigation of a machine.
Yes, the machine.
The machine itself, they've existed. They've been in business, whether it be Cricut or it's Silhouette. They've been in business for a really long time. There is a ton of support online. If you're on my page, like if you have a Silhouette, because I don't have a Cricut, I can help you with the Silhouette. But that's it. There's a ton of support. They want you to succeed with their product. So there's all kinds of, and if you've taught yourself and figured out how to decorate cookies, you can certainly teach yourself and figure it out with regards to that. I am no Albert Einstein, and I figured it out. So it's not, it's not, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not impossible. Sally's doing it. Sally's doing it. She was overwhelmed. She's doing it.
Cookies.
Hey?
Oh, never mind. Maybe Albert Einstein of cookies. No, it could be.
So the membership on which site is it? Cricut. I'm talking about Silhouette Design Store. There you can buy. Oh yes. Okay. Sorry. You're saying a membership. Yes, I think Silhouette has the same thing where you're paying a monthly and you can kind of get a certain amount of designs. Amen, Karen.
Yes, I understand. So everybody seems to be overwhelmed with a lot of the things. Yes. Listen, folks, if I get one, I'm going to be there with you. I'll be here like, Mar, show me how to do this. But one step at a time, like give yourself some credit. I mean, folks, like go on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is amazing. I mean, yes, there's some stuff that you don't want to see or whatever, but the YouTube is amazing. It's really like just watch one video. Don't like, oh, I have to watch 50 videos to learn how to do it. Like if you learn one thing, that's something. And then you build, you build and you get more confident. Just give yourself some time, Not everybody learns at the speed, as your friend, let's say, like.
Exactly. Everybody has their own learning curve. Well. So Shanna, did you Google drivers? If you don't know what a driver is, not that I'm a big expert on drivers, but sometimes you can find, basically it kind of helps with regards to the communication between the two things. So the Silhouette communicating with your Chromebook, perhaps maybe Google that. That could be an option, maybe. Kathy, I think that just like cookies, the Stencils is just about how much you do it. Like if you're you make one once a month, you're not going to learn as fast as if you do it a little bit every couple of days. So personally, I don't find it's that bad, but like how comfortable you are with regards to the computer, because it is a computer program. Like you're working with the computer to create information for the machine to cut. You're not coding, but you have to have a concept of creating that information. For example, if you work in Excel, creating the table and the lines, and if you want them all the same width, and if you're used to creating documents, well, then your brain is already kind of like, I was a secretary 100 years ago, and so you kind of that type of logic. No, they don't. They don't have a driver. Okay.
Linda, I'm sorry you're still feeling the, I guess the effects of COVID. You had COVID in November, and Linda is asking if I can stay on feet for a long time. I think it's important to pace yourself, like give yourself, okay, today I'm going to do it for 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, whatever is done. You put it, you try to kind of put things.
But sometimes it's just watching a video. It's not even like effectively like really doing anything. You can just watch information, absorb it, and say, oh, this is, because if a video is not good, you say, okay, I'm going to save that one.
Linda wants to like she's missing baking and cookies and baking, but it's like she had COVID and
she's got long COVID, they call it.
So I think, a lot of people have, I guess you have long COVID then. I mean, a lot of people I know that they still struggle with lack of energy, and you get tired.
I didn't have COVID and I have that. I said I didn't have COVID.
Yeah, I
Hi,
have that too, but yeah, but it's quite like, you have no energy. So I think it's just important to kind of give yourself, some time and
yeah.
slowly do it slowly. You don't want to be like falling on the floor while cutting cookies. But
Okay,
I
so let me
do
just try to run through.
I
So,
can withstand for hours. Yeah, but I get tired. Like then I get cramps in my legs. I don't know. Like so, yeah.
Han, we got 3 minutes. I'm just
Oh
going to
yeah.
do quick here to try
Sorry.
to get the last few. So, Mary Jean, I use a computer when I'm on my silhouette. I like to have a big screen so I can see what I'm doing, create my stuff properly. I don't do it with a phone. It's too small, in my opinion, to see what you're actually doing. Hands-on class. Well, if there's enough demand in the group, I have done a live, like not lives, but Zoom sessions with that topic to help people. And so I can create another evening where we sit and ask questions and address your issues. So that's it. Sally's still in her learning phase, but she's doing really well. She recently did that henna hand I did a couple of lives ago. She made the stencil. And I mean, wasting material is part of the learning curve with regards to that. Sometimes, your sizing is off or whatever.
But you can use cardstock. That's cheaper than Mylar.
Yes,
to,
yes.
to learn. Or could they also use even like copy paper, or is that a no to use a copy paper? Will it get in like when you are cutting the stencil and it has lots of different, like it's a floral stencil, let's say, would it compromise the machine or get into like different parts of the machine when you use the copy paper? Could you
The copy paper, it's stuck onto the
also you
mat
could
is
use,
sticky.
so to practice you could use that also.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, what happens with the copy paper, when you lift it off from the sticky surface, sometimes it rips.
Okay, but for the yes, okay,
Yes.
but for the practice purposes, that's good. Shona has a good point. You could get a chair, like a bar chair, and use that so you can sit on it and cut out your cookies, and so you don't.
Oh
have to,
yes, the rest.
You don't have
So
to.
June is offering to be, if anybody wants help as well. Sally, yes, I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay. I think it's just that it's like something that I've been doing on a regular basis, so it gets easier. But it was challenging at first. I was frustrated. It wasn't easy from the get-go. So you can buy, yes, the SVGs work well with the silhouette. It's the PNG that's ideal, I think. I haven't tried to drag an SVG in because I usually design my own since I don't want to, because I'm teaching, I can't really buy people's stuff and show you guys, because then it's like the whole licensing thing becomes something else. So I'd have to experiment with the SVGs. Oh my gosh, 18 months.
Yes, it's a long time. We wish you good luck, Linda. Hopefully, slowly you'll get your energy back.
Shanna had a back surgery.
Yeah, so folks are testing their stencils on a copy paper, a cheap material that you got. You don't have to go directly with a Milo and then, oh, I messed up, and it's. Oh, Trisha started using her silhouette last year, and it does take time. I guess there is a learning curve, but it gets easier, Karen. So
I don't know the Cricut.
I
don't know the Cricut, but I can tell you, Karen, if you have you're in the United States. Are you Canadian, or I forget you had mentioned? Anyway, they're both, or one of the two is available at Costco. So, returns is the biggest concern I would have. And if you buy it at Costco, well, then returning is not an issue. So look into a Costco and see which one is available. They're both quality machines, and make your purchase via Costco, and then it won't be a worry.
Okay, guys, we are going to slowly wrap it up. So thank you so much for visiting with us today. And on Friday, I will be back. Amber of Sweden is going to be here. Mar is not going to be here. She's going to take it today off. But then I'm going to bring up the calendar. Those of you who didn't see the calendar or needs to take a quick screenshot. So this is our May schedule, guys.
Here, let me hide the.
And so you can see the full names are the names of somebody who is in a, what did Sally say? Sweet Seed?
The sweet seed,
Sweet
hot
Seed.
seed.
He's doing a demo. And then on Fridays, we are, on Tuesday, it's always two of us, Marlon and I. So when Marlon is decorating, I'm going to be there doing the comments and all that. And on Friday, we are alternating. So Amber is decorating this Friday, and I will be there. And next Friday, Marlon is decorating, and Amber is there. All right, so you guys can take a screenshot and have it on your phone so you know who is doing what. And thanks so
So
much.
thanks everybody. So if you have ideas from to the next live where I'm going to be talking about stencils, you can send me a message. Ideally, I send it on Instagram. I find that those messages are easier for me to keep track of. And I'll create a little kind of, because I have the hour since we changed our format. So I'll try to address the most stuff that I can for you guys.
Okay,
All
guys.
right? And if you guys,
oh.
last plug, if you guys don't follow us on Patreon, you could head over and sign up for a monthly membership. And we have lots of great stuff there. And it really, that's kind of how we monetize our content. So thank you very much for those of you that already support us there.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.